Hey everyone, firstly just wanted to say sorry for the break in uploads. My phone broke roughly a month ago and at the minute that's the only thing I have to record my videos. But thankfully it's fixed now so I can upload again and I'm gonna hopefully aim for about a video a week. Kinda similar to this one. Alright, so moving on from that, the topic of this video, as you can see by the title, is attachment. And so I've been practicing Buddhism recently, and according to what I've learnt about what the Buddha taught, which is called the Dharma, attachment to things causes us suffering, and that's also known as dukkha. Now, Buddhism is an Eastern philosophy. It was kind of started in India, near Nepal. It's kind of debated, but it's Eastern philosophy. But even most Western mindsets would agree that the more we chase material things, the more we suffer. So we can make a mini conclusion that so far most people agree that attachment causes suffering. Even maybe they're from the West or the East, but they still agree. Okay, so what is the remedy, to this suffering? Remove attachment and desires, and thus you will remove suffering. But here comes an issue. How do I remove attachment from something that's not material? You know, something that actually means a lot to me. As previously mentioned, you know, even in the West where I am, we can mostly agree endlessly pursuing money, cars, and rich clothes is not gonna give us fulfillment. But when it comes to stuff like family and our core beliefs and even our sense of identity, which could also be called our ego. I think some people kind of get that mixed up. You know, they think his ego is just somebody being a narcissist, but everyone has an ego. It's just our identity, really. In the West, you know, suddenly we draw a line. We can deal with losing money, but losing our sense of self? Never. That's too far. And it would be much better if instead you did some breathwork and chanted positive affirmations. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. You know, I'm not saying focusing on your breath is bad or trying to meditate on only positive thoughts and things is bad, but if we only ever focus on a certain aspect of our existence right now that we like, and ignore any other unhealthy attachments or aspects of our existence, then that's pretty foolish. We cannot delude ourselves forever by only looking towards certain aspects of our life, because that's only going to cause more suffering. One day we will lose what is dear to us. One day we will lose our family. One day we will not have a healthy, working body, and one day we will die. And I think, I think everyone kind of believes that, yeah, we will die at some point. You know, we're not immortal, we're human, but do people, because people are still attached to that. What I mean here is, and I'll go further into this later on, is the problem really is in the attachment, not the thing of us actually dying or whatever it is, the issue, or whatever the thing we are attached to is. The issue is in the attachment to it itself, because that attachment leads to the suffering. These are some of the things that Buddha spoke about, and I mean, these are kind of just like select few, but he kind of summarized them in the 5 remembrances, which include that you will get old, you will get sick, you will lose what you love, you will die, and lastly, really the only thing you ever truly own is your actions, and therefore their consequences. The Buddha taught us that life as we know it is suffering, but he also taught us it doesn't need to be full of suffering. But this doesn't mean we need to give up all our possessions, our family, our ego, our money, and, just go live in the mountains, go to a monastery, or whatever, become a monk, we can still live a fulfilling life even when having these things, such as a money, family, an ego, material things, because they're not the problem. Like I said earlier, our attachment to them is the problem. For example, an actual problematic mindset looks like this. If I had no money, my life would be meaningless. If I had no family, my life would be meaningless. Another example of a problematic mindset is, I will always have family, no matter what, so I shouldn't even consider the prospect of losing them. My ego and sense of self will always exist. I am unchangeable by any circumstance, will always remain the same inside. Both these examples of mindsets are problematic because they refuse to acknowledge we can exist without attachment to these things, such as your ego, your sense of self, your family, and your money, even though we can exist without having a heavy attachment to these things. If we didn't have these things, we could still live. We cannot attach ourselves completely to things. I like to think of life as like an ocean current. If we hold on to some debris we claim is somehow ours, and that will always be ours and it can never change, then we will just be left flailing in the water. I think when you fully stop resisting life's endless changes, its constant current, and truly accept nothing at all is permanent, then I think you'll actually become truly free from suffering.